Hi dears, welcome back to Rainbow series of lessons and I am your teacher Jagadish. Yes, in previous class we have started to study Jainism, right? So in that we have studied about Rishabhanatha and after that we have studied about Parshvanatha who was the 23rd Tirthankara. So after that principles of Parshvanatha we have studied. Okay, today we are going to continue the session. So Jainism, it is the second part we are going to learn today. Okay. So in previous class means part 1, Jainism part 1 we have studied. So it is nothing but regarding Rishabhanatha and Parshvanatha, and today especially we are going to learn about Vardhamana Mahavira. Okay, he was the founder of Jainism. In part 1 only I have told you that the founder of Jainism was Vardhamana Mahavira. Okay, Vardhamana was the first name, birth name of Mahavira, and after getting the Kevala Jnana or after getting the Kaivalya Jnana, he had become Mahavira. Okay, so he was born in 599 BCE. BCE is nothing but before Common Era. Okay, so according to the Jain tradition, please keep that in your mind. According to the Jain tradition, the Mahavira was born in 599 BCE and he had died in 527 BCE according to the Jain tradition. Please keep that in your mind. Vardhamana Mahavira was the founder of Jainism. So today we are going to learn about Vardhamana Mahavira. Yes, Mahavira, also known as Vardhamana, was the 24th Tirthankara of Jainism. As we all know that he was the 24th Tirthankara in Jainism. Okay, there were 24 Tirthankara. So Rishabhanatha was the first Tirthankara, and 22nd, who was the 22nd Tirthankara? Neminatha was the 22nd Tirthankara, and Parshvanatha was the 23rd Tirthankara, and after Parshvanatha, he had become the Jain Tirthankara. So 24th Tirthankara was Vardhamana Mahavira. He was the spiritual successor of 23rd Tirthankara Parshvanatha. Okay, so like the way Parshvanatha was the spiritual successor of Neminatha, who was the 22nd Tirthankara, right? So Parshvanatha was the spiritual successor of Neminatha, who was the 22nd Tirthankara. The same way, Vardhamana Mahavira was the spiritual successor of Parshvanatha, who was the 23rd Tirthankara. Okay, so after the Parshvanatha, he had become the Tirthankara. So he was considered as 24th Tirthankara of Jainism. Who? Vardhamana Mahavira. Mahavira was born in the early part of the 6th century BCE into a royal Kshatriya Jain family in present day Bihar. Yes, he was born in Vaishali, okay, Vaishali district and Bihar state, right? He was born in Bihar and he was a Kshatriya, okay, he was come under the Kshatriya category. So, Vardhamana Mahavira. So, if you consider Jaina Tirthankaras, so almost all the Tirthankaras were belong to the Kshatriya category, and after that they had gone in search for the truth, and after getting the Kevala Jnana they had become the Jinas, right? So the same way Mahavira was the Kshatriya, he had born in the palace, right? So after that he went in search for the truth. So that we'll learn afterwards. So, okay, I hope that you are getting. So he had born in Vaishali. That means that it is in Bihar state. His father's name was Siddhartha and mother's name was Trishula. So, Siddhartha and Trishula Devi were the parents of Mahavira. Siddhartha and Trishula Devi were the parents of Mahavira, means Vardhamana Mahavira. He abandoned all worldly possessions at the age of about 30 and left home in pursuit of spiritual awakening, becoming an ascetic. Actually, he wanted to become an ascetic. That means that he wanted to become a monk, right? So instead of, in order to reach the goal, in order to reach his goal, what is that? What was his goal? To become an ascetic. So in the age of 30, he left his home and he left all the types of desires and he went in search for the truth. Okay, and he wanted to get the awake, he wanted to get the awakening, he wanted to get the enlightenment, right? So because of that reason he went out from the palace to get the kaivalya jnana, right? Mahavira practiced intense meditation and severe austerities for 12 and a half years, after which he attained Kevala Jnana, means omniscience. Okay, so almost 12 and a half years he sat for meditation. Okay, so it was austerities. Austerities is nothing but tough, very tough. Okay, so he sat for meditation almost 12 and a half years. So after that he got enlightenment and he attained Kevala Jnana, or he attained Kaivalya Jnana, right? That is nothing but omniscience. Okay, so he had become Jina. After getting the Kevala Jnana, he had become Jina. Jina is nothing but victor, getting victory over five senses, right? He preached for 30 years and attained moksha, salvation, in the 6th century BC. Yes, almost 30 years he preached for the common people and he preached for the people who are following his principles, right? Almost 30 years he preached. Yes. So in the short note I have showed here, so please read this regarding the life sketch of Mahavira. Okay. See here other names. So like Parshanatha was having some other names, the like Rishabhanatha was having some other names. Okay. So the same way Mahavira was also having some names here, other names called Veer, Ativeer, Vardhamana, Sanmati, Nayaputta, Kashyapa. These are the other names of Mahavira. And also I have told you already, according to the tradition, he was born in 599 BCE in Kundali Grama or Kunda Grama we are calling, or in some books they have mentioned Kanda Grama, okay? Kunda Grama or Kundalavana, okay? So Vaishali, it was the district, and present day Vaishali we are calling, Vaishali only. So Vaishali district, okay? Bihar state, okay? He was born in Vaishali, okay? And according to the Jain tradition, the year of his birth is 599 BCE. Okay, the same way died. He died in 527 BC according to the Jain tradition. Okay, parents. And I have already told you that Siddhartha and Trishila Devi were the parents of Vardhamana Mahavira. Okay, so siblings Nandivardhana and Sudarshana. Nandivardhana and Sudarshana were the siblings of Vardhamana Mahavira. Okay, next. Yes, see here the image of Vardhamana Mahavira. So it is the image of Vardhamana Mahavira. Yes. 5 O's. 5 O's are nothing but vratas. Okay, we are calling, or we can call principles. Okay, principles or vratas or O's we are calling. So like the way Parshanatha's principle, if you consider Parshanatha's principle, or if you consider the principles of Parshanatha, so there were 4 principles which were given by Parshanatha. What are they? Non-violence, right? And truth, asteya, aparigraha. These were the 4 principles which were given by Parshanatha. The same way he had added those 4 vows or those 4 principles, and he added one more important point. It is nothing but brahmacharya. So almost all 5 vows he had given. See here one by one. Yes, the Jain Agamas enumerate 5 vratas or vows which ascetics and householders must observe. These ethical principles were preached by Mahavira. Okay, Mahavira had preached 5 oaths for the common people. He had preached the oaths for the Jain followers. Okay, they had to follow these oaths in order to get salvation, in order to get moksha, right? See here one by one. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha. These are the 5 oaths, or these are the 5 vratas which were given by Mahavira. So okay, if you follow these all principles, definitely you will get salvation. Salvation is nothing but moksha, right? See, ahimsa, so non-violence. So it has given by Parshvanatha. If you see the principles of Parshvanatha, he had given four principles here: ahimsa, satya, asteya, and aparigraha. These are the principles which were given by Parshvanatha, and Mahavira also he had preached these four principles. And one more important point he added: it is nothing but brahmacharya, right? So ahimsa is nothing but non-violence. We should not harm any animal. Okay, we should not harm any living beings, right? Satya, we should say truth. Asteya, we should not steal anything. We should not steal anything. And brahmacharya, as you all know that, chastity. Okay. Then aparigraha means non-attachment towards the wealth. Okay. These are the five vratas. These are the five oaths which were given by Mahavira. Vardhamana Mahavira preached five oaths. Those are nothing but Satya means truthfulness, ahimsa means non-violence, asteya means non-stealing, aparigraha means non-attachment towards the wealth, and finally he added one more important, so brahmacharya. These are the five oaths which are given by Mahavira. So the people who are following the Jainism, they should follow these principles to get salvation. Three Ratnas of Jainism. Ratnas are nothing but jewels, right? So three Ratnas, three jewels. Okay, which are they? See here. In Jainism, the three jewels, also referred as Ratnatraya, okay, are understood as Samyak Darshana, Samyak Jnana, and Samyak Charitra, right? These are the three Ratnas which were preached in Jainism. Okay, so Samyak Darshana is nothing but right faith, Samyak Jnana is nothing but right knowledge, Samyak Charitra is nothing but right conduct. We should have a right faith, we should have a right knowledge, we should have a right conduct. So these are the three Ratnas according to the Jaina tradition. We have to follow these rules. We have to we should have these Ratnas in our life, right? So, and these all three are interdependent among themselves. So we should have all these three. If you want to get salvation according to the Jaina tradition, we should have these three Ratnas in our life, right? One of the three cannot exist exclusive of the others, okay? And all are required for spiritual liberation. The three Ratna is symbolized frequently in art as a trident. You might have seen the trident, like the way all these three are compulsory according to the Jaina tradition. So we should have all these three. Okay, we should have all these three in our life to get salvation or to get moksha. Jain sects. Okay, so Jainism has been divided into two sects. One is Digambara and one more is Shvetambara, right? So here Jain are divided into two major sects, Digambara sect and Shvetambara sect. So Digambara and Shvetambara sect. So almost approximately by the end of the 4th century, so in North India, what happened? Famine had affected. Okay, in North India, by the end of the 4th century, famine had affected. So the people of Jainism, some people of Jainism, they had gone to the South India. They had gone to the South India, especially in Shravanabelagola. They stayed there in the leadership of Bhadrabahu. You might have known this. So again, I'm repeating my words. So by the end of the 4th century, the famine had affected in North India. So some of the Jain people in the leadership of Bhadrabahu, they had come to the South India, especially in Shravanabelagola, and in Shravanabelagola they have stayed. They stayed there, so they were considered as Digambaras. They were the disciples of Mahavira. Are you getting my point? So in the leadership of Bhadrabahu, some Jain people, they had come to the South India, means in Shravanabelagola. They stayed in Shravanabelagola. They are considered as Digambara and they were the disciples of Mahavira. Okay, and Shvetambaras. So the same way, some origin Jain people, okay, they stayed in North India even though famine had affected in North India. They stayed there in the leadership of Stulabhadra. In the leadership of Stulabhadra, some Jain people, they stayed in North India even though famine had affected. They were considered as Shvetambaras. They were the disciples of Parshvanatha, who was the 23rd Tirthankara. I hope that you are getting my point. And Digambaras were the disciples of Mahavira, but Shvetambaras were the disciples of Parshvanatha, who was the 23rd Tirthankara. And so Digambaras leader, Bhadrabahu, he was the leader. Bhadrabahu was the leader of Digambara and Stulabhadra was the leader of Shvetambara. Right. So Digambaras, they won't wear dresses. They will not wear dresses, but Shvetambaras wear only white dresses. Right? They wear only white dresses. Each of these sects is also divided into subgroups. Okay, there are some subgroups in Digambaras as well as Shvetambara sect. Right? Yes. Contribution of Jainism. So till today we have studied regarding Rishabhanatha and Parshvanatha and Mahavira, and also as well we have studied about the three Ratnas, okay, of Jainism. So today we are going to learn about contribution of Jainism. Okay, so what are the contributions which were given by the Jainism? Okay, what are the contributions? See here one by one. Reformation of Hinduism. Okay, in my first session, I have told you, right? So what is that session? Causes for the rise of new religions in India, right? So Hinduism is nothing but Vedic religion. I have told you, Vedic religion is nothing but Hinduism, right? So in Vedic religion, I have told you that it was very costly and there were costly yagas and yajnas and all the rules and regulations were made by Brahmanas. They were considered as upper category people and they asked the common people to follow those rules and regulations which were made by the Brahmins. But common people, they suffered a lot in Vedic religion. But in Jainism, what happened? So because of that reason, Jainism had started, it has taken birth in India. So by seeing the Jain tradition in Hinduism, reformation had been started. Okay, to give the competition to the Jainism in Hinduism, reformation has started, right? So it is the main important point, reformation of Hinduism by seeing the Jainism, right? Non-violence. As I have told you that it is the main principle of Jainism. They have taken this principle. It is nothing but non-violence. Almost all the Tirthankaras, they have preached non-violence. Okay. So, but if you compare the Jainism into the Vedic religion, there was a violence in Vedic religion. There was a horse sacrifice. There was cow sacrifice. But Jainism strictly prohibited the violence. Jainism strictly prohibited the violence, non-violence, right? So Jainism had given the non-violence for the people. It preached non-violence, right? Opposite to caste system. Yes. So before that, in Vedic religion, there were number of castes: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. These were the four categories. Among them, there were number of caste system, but Jaina tradition, it opposed the caste system, right? Jainism opposed the caste system. Jain philosophy. Actually, Jain philosophy is in the base of non-violence. It preached non-violence. Okay, we should not harm any living beings according to the Jain philosophy, and it has given the main principle, which is nothing but non-violence. Okay, so and also it has given the values. Okay, so it has given the values for the people, and art and literary contribution. Art and literary contribution. There were number of literatures were written by the people in the time of Jainism. So most importantly, all the literatures which were written in the time of what Jainism were in common languages, especially Prakrita, Pali, and Ardhamagadi. Okay, so these are the languages they used to write the literatures. That means that they used common languages to write the arts and literatures, right? But before that, in Vedic religion, only Sanskrita, they are writing in Sanskrita only. The common people could not understand those Sanskrita. But in the time of Jainism, all the literatures which were related to the Jainism were written in common languages, were written in local languages, right? Especially Chaundaraya Purana. There were a number of literatures which were written by the kings as well as common people, right? So art, we can see number of caves, Jain caves and Jaina basadis, and there are number of temples, Jain temples we can see in the time of 6th and 5th century. Okay, and also kings and kingdoms which has given the opportunities for the Jaina tradition. So these are the contribution which were given by the Jainism to the people, which were given by the Jainism to the people, common people, right? So till today we have studied regarding Jainism, and also one important point I have to tell you that. So in my first session I have told you that told you about the rise of causes for the rise of new religion. So Jainism is the first religion which revolted against the Vedic religion. I hope that you are getting my point. Jainism is the first religion which revolted against the Vedic religion. Okay, so please take the homework. What are the three Ratnas? What are the 5 oaths taught by Mahavira? Mention the contributions given by the Jainism. I hope that you are writing. Okay, I repeat the questions again. What are the three Ratnas? What are the 5 oaths taught by Mahavira? Mention the contributions given by the Jainism. These are the questions for homework. After writing the homework, please send through WhatsApp. So I hope that you have understood the topic. If you don't get the topic, please ask questions through WhatsApp. I will try to answer you people. Thank you, students. Bye.